There are queer people living everywhere throughout the country. I mean, they're your neighbors, they're your workers, they're your friends, they're people that just need to be accepted.
That was Joan Francolini speaking, co-organizer of the Lower Cape's first ever Pride Parade and weekend with husband Rick Francolini. Despite intending to start small, the immediate and positive response from Cape Cod locals quickly turned the event into a huge undertaking.
Everyone we asked said yes. Our friends all got involved. I mean, what can we do? That's all everyone kept saying is, what can we do to help?
They called it the Unity and Community event. The parade was last Saturday, June 14th, but there were several events throughout the weekend hosted by many other volunteers.
This started as being a little project of mine. It suddenly became very large, and we knew that we either had to team up on it or abandon it.
Rick was inspired to start a Pride event on the Lower Cape because his daughter and future son-in-law are members of the queer community. They are residents of Brunswick, Maine, where they came to embrace small-town prides in local communities.
That was our inspiration, because as allies and supporters, we want to do what we can for this community, and there seemed to be a void here on the Lower Cape, and now there no longer is.
Gloria and Linda Bailey Davies served as the parade leaders, otherwise called Grand Marshals. Gloria and Linda are one of the 7 couples that were plaintiffs in the landmark Massachusetts State Supreme Court case that led to the state being the first in the U.S. to legalize same-sex marriage.
I was blown away. I mean, there's so many people here, and there's so much love and happiness and joy. We felt pretty isolated when we started this whole thing. People don't need to be isolated anymore. We're not isolated.
Joan said the event had vendors that were local or from queer-owned businesses. She found a business in Chicago that made flags.
And I sent them an email, and I told them what we were doing, and they said, Gloria and Linda, they're why I'm able to get married. And they gave us all these flags at a really low price or for free. They're some of our heroes. It was heartwarming, and that's what Gloria and Linda did. They broke barriers for us.
On Tuesday, a few days after the Unity and Community event, the federally run Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration said in a press release that its Suicide and Crisis Lifeline will discontinue the Press 3 option starting on July 17th, a suicide hotline siloed for LGBTQIA+ youth services. In 2023, the National Institute of Health published a study concluding that queer youth have disproportionately high rates of suicide compared to heterosexual cisgender youth. In the study, NIH found that 23 to 29% of queer youth attempted suicide in 2023 compared to 6% of heterosexual youth in the same year, according to a youth risk behavior survey.
It's really appalling. I mean, these are people's lives. These are human beings, and this is exactly why we had this event. It really is.
Rick says transgender communities especially need our support right now and shared why he thinks they are vilified.
Most people who struggle with the trans community will tell you that they don't know a member of one. So there's a lot of, I think, negativity that results from a basic lack of understanding. Anything we can do to help to address that would be welcomed.
Maureen Osborne, an LGBTQ ally, Orleans resident, and member of the First Parish of Brewster, said she's proud of the representation from her church and what she hopes for people that are wary of the Pride community.
There's nothing to be afraid of. That LGBTQ people are just people.
We're not religious people at all. Really, there's a broad support for this community in so many of the churches throughout the U.S. And that was really such an eye-opener for me, at least.
There has been a tremendous amount of progress for this community, and that was embodied by many of the elders that we celebrated, the folks, Stonewall veterans.
Katie Castano is a geologist and singer-songwriter who organized an event called Our Queer Elders, which highlighted LGBTQ+ history through lyrics and song.
Especially now that we're having the first ever Lower Cape Pride. I mean, that in itself is just a really incredible, beautiful response.
People live here in Orleans and in the Lower Cape. This is not a tourist thing. It's not get out the crowds. It's bring all the local support. Throughout the Cape, they came.
We also imported Mackenzie, who hails from P-Town. It was really nice to have a really strong Provincetown presence here in Orleans as well.
Rick and Joan said the event was funded by individual donations and no corporate sponsors, allowing it to be completely free for all attendees. They aim to keep it that way going forward.
And it's not about the, the anger. It's not about the hatred. It's just about the togetherness and the love, while knowing that, the first Pride was a protest. So I feel like by being here, we are all protesting the injustices that we see every day.
Hopefully we'll just build community and stay strong and maintain our focus. And in time, this will be a blemish from the past.